Hello, hello, hello. For those who don't know me, Tushar this side. I've been marketing for the past 3 years and writing for the past four. And thanks to AI, my job is dead. Yes, writing is dying a painful death at the hand of AI and it will continue to do so. There used to be a time when client used to give us a brief and then we used to spend agonizing hours into writing a rough draft and then we used to spend agonizing hours into editing to make it something readable, and all of this is gone. Now I spend more time prompting rather than actually writing. So yes, writing is dying, but you're still getting hired as a writer. I'm still getting hired as a writer. So what's our role now? What's our role in this new age of AI as a writer, and how we can improve on it? That's what I'm going to talk about today. So, to understand our new role in writing, we have to understand our old role really better. And our old role can be summed up in three words. I think the first part was ideation, the second part was creating a rough draft, and third part was editing. Now, the ideation part sometimes used to be taken care by the client itself. They used to give us a brief or something, or we used to spend some time, thinking about what is the angle we are going to take, or like what we have to write about or whatnot. 20 to 30% of our process was that, create doing competitive analysis and whatnot to understand what we're going to write. And we still do that, but I think there is more to it. We'll get to that. But yeah, in the old era of writing where AI was not here, the ideation process looked like that. And then we used to create a rough draft, which used to take at least 50% of our process. 50% of our time we used to just like create that agonizing rough draft with all its statistics and whatnot, research and whatnot. And yes, like spend hours on Google, reading 30 pages sometimes to like create one blog. So yes, that was our rough draft part. And then we used to edit, which again used to take like 20-30% of our process because the rough draft was so bad. Humans write really bad rough draft. AI doesn't. But now the roles have changed. Now I think there is ideation, definitely, but the rough draft is not there. Rough draft part is just not there. If you're ideating good enough, you don't need to write a rough draft yourself anymore. And then editing part is just like the 10% of it, because like it has like you just have to like finesse it. You have to interlink a few things or maybe add a few keywords or whatnot. But or maybe add a CTA or maybe write a better hook maybe sometimes. But you just have to finesse the writing. You don't have to write from scratch anymore. So, what's our role now? I think rough draft is gone. Rough draft part is definitely gone. The editing part has come down, but the ideation part has gone really up. I think we are spending at least 90% of our time on ideation, and we should spend that time uh, due to two particular reasons. One reason is that the standards are much higher now. To actually rank on, Google search or AI search, whatever, we have to write better content. We have to create insightful content now. We have to, even on social media, like you can't say basic stuff anymore. Like if you really want to create long term brand, you can't say basic stuff anymore. You have to come up with great narratives and great statistics and insights and whatnot. So yes, the standards are much higher in terms of ideation. So you need to spend more time on it already. And then if you can spend time on ideation, you don't need to write a rough draft at all. If you can just tell AI what exactly you want it to write, what exactly the post is going to look like, what you want to mention, what you don't want to mention, you can create a really detailed prompt and then let AI do the job. And yeah, your writing work in all this would be to write the prompt really really well. And as long as you understand, like, okay, this is the tone I want, this is the words I'm going to use, these are the words I'm going to avoid, AI is going to give you a good enough output, which you will then do the editing and all. So yes, old process, 20% ideation, 20 to 30% ideation, then 50% rough draft, and 20 to 30% editing. New process, 90% ideation and 10% editing. That's the new AI process, AI writing process or whatnot. And you need to get better at ideation and editing both. Like, yeah, it's 10%, but it's important. And ideation is 90% already. And I think the solution is basically the same to both of them. You need to consume better content. To become a better writer in the age of AI, you need to consume better content. And once you consume better content, your editing will have finesse. You will be able to see, okay, what good content looks like, and then you will be able to adopt it in your own writing. Okay, this is good editing looks like. And again, in the same, if you're like studying good marketing campaigns, if you're like uh taking ideas from all over the world, and connecting two things that are not supposed to be connecting, your ideation and all will be better. So again, you need to understand uh, what's going on in the social media and all that. So consume better stuff. Basically, as long as you're consuming better stuff, you will come up with better ideas. But you need one more thing in both uh, ideation and editing. And in ideation, you need to sit with yourself. Like, you need to sit with yourself. I know, like, our jobs involve social media, we're on social media most of the times, but to actually come up with good ideas, you need to sit with yourself and let your brain actually think. You can go on a walk, you can do, and it's not easy. Like, you want to watch another episode of Friends, which is like, again, bad content. You need to watch another episode of Friends for the 20th time. But no, you have to become a better writer, and to become a better writer, you need to consume better. And then again, you need to sit with yourself to think. If you're like watching Friends all the time, how will you ever think? And when you won't think, then you will over rely on ChatGPT for ideas as well. And then again, you won't be able to create something new. It will always be that regurgitated shit like we're posting on LinkedIn all the time, which we make fun of. So again, you have to think, and to think, you have to sit down and do nothing, which is hard. And on the editing front, you have to create a personal blog or newsletter where you don't use AI at all. I know it's tempting to use AI all the time, create a blog or like newsletter with AI because it's easy. Editing with AI is also easy. But if you don't know what to tell, if you don't know how to detect what is bad writing, and you don't know how to edit yourself, like, okay, this is the exact change I want, you can't instruct ChatGPT as well. So your editing will always be bad. So again, you need to become better at the editing part, and to become better at the editing part, you need to edit yourself sometimes. And for that, you have to create a blog or something, or a newsletter where you edit yourself, where you're not using AI at all. So yeah, that's how you become better as a writer in this new age of AI. Consume better, think, and yes, you are getting paid for thinking now. You're not getting paid for, like, just writing can be taken care by ChatGPT, but if you can come up with great ideas, great marketing ideas, you will have a job. But if you can't, you won't. As simple as that. And editing, same thing, like editing. If you can't edit well, what's the point of being a writer? What's the point of being a writer if you cannot distinguish between bad and good writing? If you can't see something and say, okay, okay, this is shit and I need to improve it. So yes, that's your job as a writer now. Think and edit well. So yeah, that's it. You need to become a clear thinker to become a clear writer now, a better writer now. Wow, we have come full circle. Like, Paul Crum was saying, like, only good writer, like clear thinkers are good writers. It's the prophecy is coming true, I would say. Earlier you used to get away with, not consuming good content and all that, because like writing bar was really low, but writing bars are getting higher and higher. And to keep up with that, you need to become a good thinker. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you don't get discouraged and leave writing as a career after like hearing this. But if you're not passionate about writing, eh, I won't suggest you writing as a career at this moment. So yeah, that's it. Bye bye. Have fun with this thought.